Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. A one-vehicle crash just outside of Weatherly this morning ended with one fatality in Carbon County. Emergency crews temporarily shut down a portion of Spring Mountain Road around 9:30 this morning for a 2003 Chevrolet Trailblazer that was said to have, for unknown reasons at this time, crossed over both lanes before heading off the left side, hitting a tree that caused heavy driver's side door damage. The Carbon County coroner was called in and pronounced the driver, identified as 27-year-old Caitlin Tarrant of Beaver Meadows, dead just after 11 a.m. Her 3-year-old passenger sustained a suspected minor injury, and she was taken to the hospital. State police are asking any witnesses to contact Trooper Richard Williams at 570-459-3890. That investigation is ongoing. We now know what caused the death of the 6-month-old baby girl found dead in a home in one part of Luzerne County over the weekend. The Luzerne County coroner said yesterday after an autopsy was performed that 6-month-old Nora Riera died accidentally from asphyxiation by mechanical compression, or the child was physically in a position where she couldn't breathe. Paramedics were called to the home on Arch Street in Newport Township Saturday and found little Nora and 4 other children living in the home, which was condemned by Newport Township officials for unfit living conditions. Several animals were also removed. Although the coroner ruled this death accidental, state police say their investigation is ongoing. A Kingston man recently got 75 months in federal prison for heroin trafficking and firearms offenses. Court documents say 37-year-old Aaron Bangaroo was indicted after a grand jury and police made several purchases from heroin from Bangaroo and then obtained a search warrant for Bangaroo's residence in Kingston. Police seized 2 firearms and ammunition, as well as around 20 grams of heroin, which is equivalent to around 800 individual doses of heroin. Bangaroo was sentenced Friday to serve 75 months imprisonment for possession with intent to distribute heroin and possession of firearms in furtherance of drug trafficking. A former gang member recently got 20 years in federal prison for sex and drug trafficking. According to court papers, 37-year-old Servon Taylor of Stroudsburg, who used the gang name Black, previously pled guilty to conspiring with others to commit sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion, and to distribute more than 1 kilogram of heroin, which is approximately equivalent to more than 40,000 retail bags, between 2010 and 2015 with a street gang known as the Black P-Stones. Male gang members were beaten into the gang, while female members were sexed in. The Black P-Stones obtained heroin and other drugs in New York and distributed them in Stroudsburg and Maine. Females were forced to engage in sex with male gang members and recruited and coerced to engage in various forms of prostitution. Taylor was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment Friday, as well as 8 years probation, and would have to register as a sex offender upon his release. Sean Christie's day in Carbon County Court this morning was put on hold. Christie was scheduled to appear this morning at 10 a.m., but his case was continued for unknown reasons at this time, with no new date in sight. Christie, who back in 2018 led authorities on a 3-month multi-state manhunt, is accused of committing 3 break-ins while on the run in Carbon County. Christie is set to represent himself without an attorney, but with counsel on standby, like his previous cases in Luzerne and Schuylkill counties, as well as in Scranton Federal Court. State police have made their troop press releases available online for the public. Public information release reports issued by stations that comprise the department's 16 troops will be posted online under the For Media page of psp.pa.gov. The change makes PIRRs, traditionally faxed to news organizations, available to anyone with an internet connection. Troopers complete PIRRs for criminal incidents, reportable vehicle crashes, or other significant incidents. The releases are made available upon completion and remain on the public website for 45 days. PIRRs are uploaded as batches of PDF files and organized by troop and station. You can also check out PSP's social media accounts for news and other information that they may share. PennDOT and the Pennsylvania Turnpike announced the start of automated work zone speed enforcement's pre-enforcement period. The required 60-day pre-enforcement period for the statewide AWZSE program has begun and will last until March 4th. The state's AWZSE program uses vehicle-mounted systems to detect and record motorists exceeding posted work zone speed limits using electronic speed timing devices. AWZSE systems are only operational in active work zones where workers are present. Once official enforcement begins after March 4th, registered owners will receive a warning letter for a first offense, a violation notice and $75 fine for the second, and a violation notice and $150 fine for 3 or more. Violations are civil penalties, so no points would be added to driver's licenses. For more information, visit workzonecameras.penndot.gov. Snow bans were put into effect as tonight's winter weather quickly approaches. Now, as of 5 p.m., the City of Hazleton's snow ban was put into effect, meaning no parking where blue signs or yellow signs are visible. Multiple school districts throughout our area have also canceled all after-school activities that were scheduled to take place tonight. We're expecting to see from 1 to 3 inches of snow tonight and maybe some snow showers early tomorrow. Coming up on Wyln News, Geisinger is under fire after the Department of Health released its findings. Plus, one historic downtown Scranton building gets repurposed. But first, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Well, tomorrow looks partly cloudy with a high of 32 and a chilly low of 15. Same goes for Thursday, but plenty of showers coming up shortly. We'll be right back.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
Watch Off the Beaten Path on WYLN TV 35 and discover the Pennsylvania you never knew existed.
Pennsylvania Department of Health released its findings of their inspection following the deaths of 3 infants in the neonatal intensive care unit at Geisinger Medical Center, Danville. 3 premature infants in the NICU died, while 5 others were sickened by waterborne bacteria found in equipment used to prepare donor breast milk and formula back in October. The state's health department said the pharmacy failed to properly sanitize equipment, had no process in place to check equipment for contamination, and that hospital officials did not follow state law for reporting disease outbreaks. Since the initial inspection, Geisinger has said to have drafted a new policy and implemented a new process. So far, there have been no new cases of infants becoming ill from the bacteria found in their NICU. The Wolf administration recently announced more Pennsylvania Farm Bill grant funding to increase agriculture education opportunities. Governor Tom Wolf announced the approval of $500,000 in AG and youth grants to fund 55 projects in 25 counties throughout the Commonwealth to improve access to agriculture education in the Commonwealth. The goal is to address the looming $75,000 workforce deficit the state's agriculture industry faces in the coming decade. In our viewing area, Columbia County saw $7,500 in grant money for equipment at Central Columbia's FFA. Congressman Dan Muser hired a new Director of Community Development. Muser's office was pleased to announce that Tom Gerhard will join the office as Director of Community Development. The Weatherly native's role with Congressman Muser's district offices will include working with local chambers of commerce, business organizations, elected officials, associations, and community clubs to serve the constituents of Pennsylvania's 9th District. Gerhard's lifetime of community service includes 12 years as a Packer Township supervisor, which he held the chairman position for 7 years, volunteerism with the Marian Catholic Booster Club, the Knights of Columbus, and his local church. Gerhard and his wife of 40 years, Sue Ann, have 2 daughters and a grandson. Governor Wolf also announced funding to rehabilitate one historical building for the Behavioral Health Center in downtown Scranton. Commonwealth Cornerstone Group completed a new markets tax credit transaction of $7 million with the Scranton Counseling Center to help fund the adaptive reuse of a historic Cornerstone building at 329 Cherry Street in downtown Scranton. The rehabilitated building will be the site of SCC's Behavioral Health Clinic and administrative offices, as well as a pharmacy and primary health clinic to provide support services for the clinic's clients. For the last 40 years, it's operated out of a former Sears department store. The project is expected to create 39 temporary full-time construction jobs, paying an average wage of nearly $22 an hour, followed by retention of all 318 current employees. Plus, 70 of these jobs will be accessible to low-income people at an average wage of more than $17 an hour with benefits. A longtime psychotherapist serving Greater Hazleton was listed in a national directory of counselors trained and supervised in post-traumatic stress disorder treatment. Dr. Edward Payne's treatment of PTSD involves cognitive processing therapy, or CPT. The treatment method has been researched, tested, and used nationwide by the Veterans Administration, as well as helping victims of assault, sexual assault, accidents, and crime victims. Dr. Payne's office is located in downtown Hazleton, where he can be reached at 570-436-7022. Coming up on Banks Township's News Choice, we talk accident safety on this Trooper Talk Tuesday in Community and You. Plus, Heritage Hill is bringing back the King of Cool for one night only. Stay with us.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Bonanza Steakhouse, 574 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazel Township, has an unbeatable buffet filled with something for everyone. Our menu includes the finest flame-grilled steaks, barbecue ribs, chicken, seafood, or sandwiches. You can add the buffet to any entree for a little more. Bonanza features daily specials. Join us Saturday and Sunday for our breakfast buffet that includes our famous omelet and egg station, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Have your event with Whitetail, graduation, birthday, bachelor, reunion parties? They have the most tranquil backyard experience with beautiful mountains in the background. If your company or business wants a different alternative to a golf outing, they have outings that can accommodate you. You can have the entire facility to yourself. They will work with you to set up your day of events. Sporting clay competitions, trap and wobble trap games, skeet. After a day of shooting, you'll return to a meal designed for you. Call Mike at 570-535-6123 for available group options.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about visiting a restaurant that has a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we'll be featuring on our show. Wine, hops, and road stops. Jeff Bonomo and his co-host, Alan Giannetti, welcome you into the world of craft beer, great wine, and good food. Wine, hops, and road stops.
Welcome to Trooper Talk Tuesday, and I'm Paula Degnan along with Pennsylvania State Police Trooper Anthony Petrosky, and we're going to talk about those darn accidents.
Yes.
How did they happen?
Well, we refer to them as crashes.
Oh, okay.
The majority of the time, it's not an accident. Somebody's at fault. What we want to talk about with this is a lot of times on interstates, we'll have a bad crash, and one of the lanes will be shut down. So we keep one lane open to allow traffic to flow. And what we see out there as first responders is people that are passing by, they're recording it on their cell phone. Now, that's not safe. You should be focused on the road. There's a lot of emergency responders in and out. We're walking out on the road trying to do our investigation. Tow truck personnel, EMS. It's not safe. Eyes on the road, travel through slowly, and then be on your way. And on top of that, you know, if that was your family member or somebody you knew in a crash, would you want somebody recording them? So, you know, we just want people to be safe. Put the phone down and just keep your eyes on the road.
Well, when we talk about these crashes as well, that could also be one of the things that, as you said, there's always somebody at fault.
Sure.
Because there's an awful lot of that cell phone use.
And we refer to that as distracted driving. Now, in Pennsylvania, it's legal to use your phone as a phone call while you're driving, but it's illegal to text, read, write, or send a text message and use social media while you're driving. It takes your eyes off the road. Taking your eyes off the road for a couple seconds can ruin your life. It can ruin somebody else's life.
Now, what about when we talk about using the hands-free and the way that we can set it up through our radio?
Right.
Does that count?
You know, that's an advantage that technology's working. You know, hands-free is great. Most new cars now have the Bluetooth built in, so if your phone rings, even though it is legal, you know, you're not taking your eyes off the road at all to grab your phone. You just hit the answer button and you're still you're talking and looking at the road. But if you're going to be reading text messages that come up on your in-dash screen, again, it's taking your eyes off the road. That's illegal.
Okay.
That's illegal. Your best bet is to just put it down. If you're expecting that important text message, just pull over and read it.
When we're also talking about crashes as well, what happens when you have one?
A lot happens.
What do you do?
Number one, the first thing is we have to make sure that everybody's okay. We have to render aid. Beyond that, we have to open the road, especially when you're talking an interstate. You have tons of cars traveling through. We want to get that road open. But we need to do a proper and thorough investigation. So if we need to shut down a lane or both lanes to get measurements, if we have to bring our reconstructionists out, our forensic services team to photograph the scene, I mean, that's what we're going to do. We want to do a thorough investigation, but ultimately we want to get that road open as soon as we can.
Do you move your vehicle?
Our vehicle, I mean,
not your vehicle, but that are involved in a crash.
It depends. You know, again, if it's something that we have to get measurements, we will keep them there. If it's going to be a bad crash where ultimately we're going to see court down the road or civil litigations, and we know we need to bring a reconstructionist out, it's going to stay as the way it is until the reconstructionist is done. But if it's, you know, one car where a deer ran out and the car is disabled in the road, we're going to get a tow truck out there as soon as we can. We know what happened. We can open the road. You know, every crash is different.
Because sometimes that could be a good thing for the cell phone to use, so you could take pictures of what happened. But I can remember in driver training back right after the horse and buggy, where you were told, you know, you would get the thing out of your glove compartment and you would draw it. Kind of all that's gone by the wayside.
Sure. I mean, you know, a lot of times where we see we're a non-reportable crash, meaning there's no injuries and the vehicles are drivable. Drivers, all they need to do is exchange information, and a lot of times they just take pictures of the other operator's license and insurance card. You know, it's easier and quicker than writing it down. You know, whatever's comfortable for you.
But would that hold up in court?
Sure.
Yeah.
As long as you get that information, yeah. You know, if we have to photograph a scene, we don't use cell phones. We use a camera that we can download to a disk in case we need to show them in court. Yeah, there's ways that we do certain things.
And if I had to say, Trooper Petrosky, give me 2 ways to avoid a crash.
Well, number 1, eyes on the road. And number 2, obey all the laws of the Commonwealth.
And that would probably mean slowing down.
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to have Trooper Petrosky back with us again in a week, and we're going to talk more about things that'll keep you safe on Trooper Talk Tuesday here on WYLN.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown in the Hometown Village Square.
Tune in every Sunday night on WYLN from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop action as only Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling High Voltage can bring you. That's Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling every Sunday night on WYLN. I'll see you in the ring.
John's Family Restaurant in the Churchill Mall. Enjoy a full menu with all homemade food. From breakfast, soups, sandwiches, entrees, and desserts. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner specials. The food is great, the price is right. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Sunday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Ralph M. Cameron, specializing in quality and affordable construction services for residential, commercial, and industrial. Licensed and insured. Call 570-401-0654 today for all your construction needs.
WYLN has strong ties to the community and it's committed to important causes like the American Cancer Society and Helping Hand Society telethons. WYLN's commitment to Pennsylvania continues with the broadcast of Hazleton's Fun Fest Parade and the Christmas and St. Patrick's Day parades in Wilkes-Barre. In the summer, we broadcast the Weatherly and Giants Despair Hill Climb. And throughout the year, we provide important community services through the broadcast of town meetings, school board meetings, election night coverage, and other community events. WYLN, we're your local network.
Our live coverage of tonight's high school boys basketball game, Tunkhannock versus MMI, has been canceled due to the weather that's heading our way tonight and is starting to show its colors as we speak. Our sports crew's next live game coverage, however, is scheduled for the girls this Saturday, January 9th, as Tamaqua takes on Mahanoy area at 7:30. Heritage Hill presents An Evening with Dino. Heritage Hill is bringing back the King of Cool for one night only. Enjoy An Evening with Dino at the Senior Community Thursday, January 23rd from 7 to 8 p.m. Dean Martin impersonator Rick Lorady will croon the ever-popular singer, actor, comedian, and producer's greatest hits. Step back in time with Lorady as he channels Martin's effortless charisma and memorable sound. Enjoy decadent treats of chocolate mousse and cream puffs, all courtesy of Heritage Hill. The event is free and open to the public, however, seating is limited. Be sure to RSVP by January 16th by calling Rachel or Jessica at 570-427-4500. And a saxophone recital and lecture are set to be held at Penn State Hazleton next week. Penn State Hazleton will host a saxophone recital and lecture at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, January 15th. The presentation, Over 100 Years of Women and the Saxophone, will be held in the Black Box Theater of the Slusser Basic Building. During the event, famous British saxophonists Amy Green and Charlotte Harding will perform a sampling of pieces that were played in a variety of venues. Green and Harding will be joined by pianist Ann Lee of Alexandria, Virginia. Admission is free and the event is open to both the campus community as well as the public. And that's the news. Remember, you can get news updates on our WYLN News Facebook page. If you'd like to see an event promoted on our newscast, visit WYLNTV.com to submit a request form. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN TV.
CARES is a local and family-owned agency dedicated to providing exceptional services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities.